Washington, D.C. sees thousands of burglaries every year. And according to the latest Metropolitan Police Department, over 2,000 burglaries were reported in 2024 alone. And those are just the ones that we know about. But what makes a burglar tick? What motivates them? And what can we do to protect ourselves?
Welcome back to the Security Bros. I'm Ken, this is James, and in this video, we're diving into the psychology of burglars, specifically burglars in Washington, D.C. We're going to cover what they think, who they target, and a few helpful bits that can help keep you one step ahead of these burglars. Keep you one step ahead of these jerks, more like it.
Little assholes.
Yeah, not assholes.
To understand how burglars operate, we have to get inside their heads. Most burglaries aren't elaborate heists, they're crimes of opportunity. Studies show that 85% of burglars are amateurs, and they rely on speed and easy access to their target. They're looking for a quick in and out, usually under 10 minutes. And burglars usually fall into three main categories. You have the opportunist, who acts on impulse when they see an easy target. Then you have the searcher, who specifically targets items like cash, jewelry, electronics. And then you have the planner, who stakes out a property in advance, puts a lot of time into it. Here in DC, though, most burglars fall into the first two categories. They're not career criminals. They're looking for a fast score, and they don't want to get caught. So how do these guys choose their targets? What makes a home a target? A former burglar was interviewed, and he put it this way: I look for signs that a house is empty. You're talking about no cars, no lights, piled up mail. Then I check the door. If it's locked, I move on. If it's open, I go in. Easy access type situation. In DC, row homes and apartments are prime targets. Most burglars enter through the front door. Somewhere around 30% of the time, the door is just unlocked. And in some cases, they'll even pose as delivery guys or maintenance workers. A new kind of burglary that you probably haven't heard about is something called burglary tourism. Burglary tourism is a growing problem in the U.S. Criminal crews go coast to coast looking for their next big score. Police say the thieves come from Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru, and citizens of these countries can obtain a 90-day visa without a background check. And then the thieves are cognizant of avoiding confrontations during the break-ins to keep law enforcement attention kind of at a minimum. The burglars will prey on wealthy homeowners soon after landing in the U.S. and have developed an appetite for homes of professional athletes. It's easy to kind of tell when they're going to be away from their home because you can look at what the schedules of the games are. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's home was ransacked a while back while he was in Dallas facing off against the Cowboys.
It's a problem. I mean, that's why I personally did not go and become a professional athlete because, yeah, millions upon millions of dollars to be made, but like, is it worth it when your home might...
Well, you're just a public figure and everyone knows your schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
So I said, no, I think instead I'll just run this security company for a lot less money.
A little more anonymity.
And a lot more work and, for safety. It is a good point though. You just show up, they're not there. Mm-hmm. Big house, take something of value and pawn it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you could take it, you could pawn it.
I'm not sure because it needs to pay the flight from Peru.
You're stealing gold, the jewelry, and all kinds of stuff. You can probably pawn that off in various different places and make a handful of money. In DC, it's more of the opportunist type deal. You're not having people with a lot of premeditated crime per se. I mean, we have
not even people with a lot of skill.
It's just opportunity. Like, you're on your phone, you're holding your phone to your ear. They're going to come by, try to steal your phone. If, you seem vulnerable and you're alone, they might come up and stick a knife up to you or a gun and be like, hey, give me your wallet or, whatever. It's not a lot of these really thought out, premeditated, planned heists.
We had a customer just this week. They are having a new replacement device being sent to their condo building in Washington, but they specifically asked if they could have it sent to our office instead because even their really high-end building where they have units that are going for over $1 million has break-ins where people go in and they want to steal the package. And so the last thing they want is for this like $4,000 device to be stolen from their lobby. And I can tell you actually from that same customer and from a few customers, but including that one, occasionally somehow my name gets put into the directory. These people will call on the intercom device. They're calling random people to see if anyone will buzz the door open.
Package theft in DC is a huge issue, a gigantic issue. People are constantly having packages stolen. But we had a customer reach out, not surprisingly, saying that a package was stolen from the lobby. And when we did the research, looked through all the video footage and the logs and everything, it was the same type of thing. The person went in and they called one person from the intercom, then they went and they called the next person on the intercom, and they kept going until just some random person in the building picked up and unlocked the door for them, and they got in and stole the package.
Sometimes what they'll do is piggyback on you, like walking in. So I've lived in buildings where people will do that. Like, no, do you have your key fob? No? Well, then I don't owe it to you to let you in this building just because I'm like a nice guy. I'm not that nice of a guy, and I know some people, they want to be so nice, and it's like, you know what? Niceness only gets you so far, and then you start having people coming in, stealing your stuff, breaking in, causing damage, vandalizing your building. If I don't know you, don't expect me to just like let you in with me.
Like you said, they vandalize or they go to the bathroom all over the building. That's another weird big problem. They steal packages, and people are just genuinely trying to be nice.
But what about the person that's trying to piggyback? What about them being nice? You have the system for a reason, the security. Everybody should have their key fob or their code or their mobile app. It's a bit rude, I think, to just walk up and expect other people to let you piggyback on them without showing some proof that you do belong in the building.
You can go about this while still being nice and, courteous to the person, but also using a little caution just not to let random people into the building in the event that you do have malintentions, right?
Even if they don't have malintentions.
My point being is you could be like a fine person and I accidentally let you in, but you could also be a really bad person. Either way, if you don't belong in there, you shouldn't be let in.
It's not a museum that you're supposed to go there and take a tour.
Last year, police arrested a man suspected of at least a dozen burglaries in Northwest DC. He posed as a food delivery worker carrying an empty bag and was waiting for residents to buzz him in, similar to what we were just talking about. Once inside, he would slip into any apartment that he could find that was unlocked. And in another case, a burglary crew targeted high-end homes in Georgetown. They worked in teams. So one person would ring the doorbell and somebody else would circle around back. And if no one answered, they would just go ahead and break in the back window and go in and take whatever they wanted. There's a couple news articles here. 5 suspects detained in Washington, D.C. after rampant burglaries throughout the district. Several businesses were broken into early Tuesday mornings. These are just like smash and grab incidents where they come in, they're just breaking windows, trying to grab whatever they can take and get out. Another instance, this one is actually, I believe, in California, so not in D.C. at all, but I figured it was interesting. A serial burglar who posed as a DoorDash delivery driver is nabbed by California cops. So he would walk around with a Starbucks bag. He went and actually got like a Starbucks bag, made it look like a DoorDash thing. It allowed him to wander around the area, check his phone, so it looked like if anyone challenged him, he was there to do DoorDash delivery. Footage of the crimes were caught on surveillance cameras located in the areas. In one of the videos, it's actually a Starbucks bag with a receipt stapled on it, much like you would see if someone was carrying it to deliver. Just be careful because people are using these kind of tactics where they're just kind of out looking to kind of make their own opportunities to break into places.
Most burglars aren't masterminds. What I've found is that if you're just above average in terms of difficulty, then burglars will usually pass on because most of them are not going to break glass. Some of them do. In a city like Washington, D.C., there's so many other buildings and doors for them to go try to break into that if that door is a little bit more difficult than usual to get into, or the building is a little bit more secure than the average building, they'll usually just pass on.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you like it so we know and share it so your friends know. Bye.
Wow.